Everything started in a moment, without warning, without any prelude. On January 9th, 2022, North Korea's internet suddenly went down. Government websites went offline one by one, and no one knew why. Was it a retaliatory strike because of recent military tests? Some suspected it was the work of a foreign government, a coordinated cyber operation, but the truth was far from anyone's guess. Behind the scenes, there was only one person, a lone hacker, sitting silently at home in sweatpants and pajamas. And what drove him was just one thing: revenge. The story began a year earlier. In January 2021, a cybersecurity researcher, known by the alias CypherFox, was sitting at his desk, as usual, analyzing code. That night, he received a message from another security expert. A simple message containing an executable file that claimed to be a new security auditing tool. CypherFox, always cautious, opened the file in a virtual, isolated environment. Nothing seemed to happen, but the next day, news broke that changed everything. Google warned that Western security researchers were targeted by sophisticated attacks linked to North Korea. CypherFox re-examined the file and uncovered a harsh truth. He had been deceived. He thought the US government would step in to protect its citizens. He received a call from a federal agent, but only to take a report and ask some questions. No help was given to secure the systems, and no sign of follow-up was seen. Weeks passed, then months. No support arrived. CypherFox felt abandoned, alone against a powerful enemy. Inside him, something began to form: distrust, anger, and finally, a dangerous decision. If no one protects him, then maybe he should answer back. An impossible idea seemed to take shape: a solo attack on one of the world's most closed countries. But the more he thought about it, the more he realized not only was it possible, but it was necessary. By the end of 2021, his decision was made. He wanted to strike, not the people, but the regime that silently targeted him. He began researching North Korea's online infrastructure. To his surprise, the country's internet was very limited and fragile. Only a few networks and a couple dozen websites made up their entire online presence. Servers ran on outdated software with almost no security. For an experienced hacker, this structure was like wide open doors that no one bothered to lock. CypherFox spent nights scanning servers, inspecting vulnerabilities, and collecting data. Soon, he identified many flaws, weaknesses known for years, but never patched in that country. With each new discovery, his confidence grew. He realized he could do this. He could do this. He started writing scripts to automate the attacks. For an operation this scale, automation was vital. Code that would identify, evaluate, and carefully take down servers. This was not a massive brute force attack, but a precise and targeted strike, like a shadow warrior, meticulously preparing everything. By early January 2022, everything was ready. CypherFox sat behind his laptop in the quiet night, wearing a t-shirt and comfy pants, ready to begin. He reviewed his codes. Servers were configured, targets marked. After a deep breath, the attack commenced. At first, all was calm. No explosions, no visual signs, just executing codes. He turned on a sci-fi movie and munched on spicy chips. But every few minutes, he paused the film to check the status. And each time, results improved. Websites went offline, one after another. Official sites, government portals, even airline booking sites, all down. Inside North Korea, officials realized their connection to the world was severed. No one could access their sites. Emails failed, and external access vanished. But still, no one knew what happened. Using monitoring services, CyberFox tracked the situation minute by minute. The outage graphs were flooded with red. Networks fell one by one, and no one could do anything. A silent, footprint-free, and highly effective attack. Gradually, the world noticed something unusual. But no government claimed responsibility. Some guessed it was the US or one of its allies. Others said maybe it was a secret retaliation for North Korea's recent military tests. But reality was beyond speculation. Not a government, not a group, just one person. CyberFox smiled silently. No one knew he was the mastermind behind this operation. He sought no fame, just wanted to respond. And now, North Korea's silence confirmed his answer. But he wasn't satisfied. Bigger ideas formed in his mind. If one script could cut a country's internet, why not infiltrate and leak information? He decided to launch a new project. On the dark web, he created a site called ShadowNet, a call for fellow activists to join a common cause. He wanted to build a network of independent forces to scrutinize oppressive regimes. However, not everyone in cybersecurity agreed with him. Some warned these actions could jeopardize official intelligence operations. Others said these acts were illegal, even if motivated by justice. CyberFox knew that, but was ready to take the risk. He believed silence and inaction were worse than danger. If no one acts, he would. To him, North Korea's attack on researchers went unanswered. And now, he had delivered his reply. When asked about his ultimate goal, he just laughs. He says he doesn't want to change the regime, just to send a clear message. Until that message is heard, the attacks will continue. To this day, no security force has knocked on his door. No one knows who was behind the attack, but the main question remains: how far can one person stay in the shadows? He sits behind his keyboard, in sweatpants, challenging the power of a regime. But when thousands of cyber criminals aren't satisfied with just shutting down websites and turn identities into money, who can stop them? To see how stolen lives turned into a global business, don't miss our next story.